What's going on, guys? So, I know that this title may sound a little clickbaity, right? Man jailed for making women pay for dinner. But that's actually exactly what happened, and Terrence Pops just covered this morning, I so see. But I've been hanging on to this article for a few days now. Wanted to get the right time to share it with you, and I feel like the time is now. So I'm going to play you a quick snippet of about 30 to 40 seconds first of two of the women involved in this scandal. Then I'm going to read through the article. Then I'm going to give you my commentary. All right, so check this out.
Talked about himself, or he told him, about me.
All of that talking must have worked up a big appetite because she says Gonzalez ordered a steak, salad with shrimp, and a glass of wine.
He had told me that his son may be calling. I said, no, absolutely. I have kids. I understand.
Ordered a Caesar salad with shrimp, a steak, and a baked potato, and a glass of Pinot Noir.
An hour into their date, same MO. He left to take a call.
He said, don't let them take my food. I'll be right back.
She waited about 20 minutes before realizing she was left with the check.
Right, so just wanted to give you guys a bit of background on the type of people that he was actually going on dates with right now. So let me read the article to you. Come on, I don't need these advertisements. All right, beautiful. Here we go. A Dine and Dash dater is facing years in prison for allegedly, and I quote, forcing a string of first dates to pay for their expensive meals by sneaking out of upscale restaurants after he had finished eating. Now, I know that that could potentially sound like a bit of a dick move, but think about how many women have forced men to pay for their meals over the years. Let's just think about that and ponder on that for a moment. Paul Guadalupe Gonzalez from Los Angeles faces 10 counts of extortion, fraud, and petty theft. Now I thought to myself, extortion, fraud, and petty theft, I mean, that sounds like pretty serious charges. So I thought to myself, how about I go and look at what fraud, extortion, and petty theft really mean? Let's get some definitions here, shall we? So let's start with fraud. Wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. Well, I mean, maybe that's somewhat true, but it's not like he was stealing people's identities or taking out loans in other people's names or misrepresenting himself as other people to, get jobs as government official or whatever it is. Now, extortion, and this I really take exception to him being charged with extortion. Extortion, right? From the Oxford Dictionary, the practice of obtaining something, especially money, through force or threats. For example, he used bribery and extortion to build himself a huge art-stuffed mansion using extortion rackets. Now, tell me where, in going to dinner with a woman and then walking out without paying, he has obtained something, especially money, through force or threats. Where's the force or the threat? There is none. They just want to throw bullshit like this at him because he's a man. They would never do this to a woman. Completely gynocentric. And petty theft. So I first want to examine what petty means. Of little importance or trivial. Unduly concerned with trivial matters. So basically it doesn't fucking matter. And theft is the action or crime of stealing. So if this theft is so trivial, right, is of so little importance, why are you charging a man with it? Just some food for thought. Let me continue. The 45-year-old would reportedly chat to women online, offering to take them to restaurants across the city, before vanishing without a word after consuming large amounts of food and alcohol. Okay, maybe not the most ethical thing to do, but let's continue. Appearing in court in Pasadena for his preliminary hearing, Mr. Gonzalez listened as women testified about their experiences dating the alleged tab skipper. Martha Barber said she was due to meet Mr. Gonzalez at a Chipotle outlet in July 2016, before he convinced her into a meal close by at an upscale eatery called Houston's. Now, Ms. Barber, and we all know what Ms. means, says, I didn't want to go. This is literally her quotation. I didn't want to go. He didn't look like his pictures. I wasn't attracted to him, Ms. Barber said, who nevertheless agreed to go to be, and I quote, nice. So she went along to dinner with someone she wasn't attracted to because she was just being nice. Yeah, bullshit. You wanted a free meal and you thought you were getting it, and you didn't end up getting it, and now you're upset. He kept saying, I got you. Order whatever you want. It's on me. Don't worry about it, Ms. Barber said. He ordered steak, wine, salad, just whatever you could order. At one point, Mr. Gonzalez stood up to take a call and suggested she order dessert while he stepped away to talk. She added, he allegedly never came back, forcing Ms. Barber to pay the $120 or £92 bill. Well, he didn't force her to do anything. She chose to pay rather than leaving without paying and then going to the police and trying to get the police to sort out who should pay for dinner. I felt embarrassed and didn't want to say anything. I felt humiliated. Yeah, you feel upset. You feel upset. You feel humiliated. You feel taken advantage of. You feel unattracted to this man. You know, you feel like you want a free dinner. You feel. Fuck out of here with that feel bullshit, said Ms. Barber, a single mother. Called it. I haven't even read this far into the article and had already called it in my head. There we go. Single mother. Standard. So who's babysitting the kid, huh? Ms. Barber, a single mother, told the court she felt humiliated. She said she had to use her rent money to cover the cost. So you got to use your rent money to cover the cost, which means you've got no savings, which means you're probably wasting money on shit you don't need. Because if you weren't wasting money on shit you don't need, then you would have money for savings. I saw that you had your hair done. I saw the makeup on your face. You knew what you were doing and you spent money to get that free meal, right? Another woman, Yolanda Laura, told the newspaper she accepted an invite from Mr. Gonzalez to a sushi restaurant in West Hollywood last year. I remember he was talking really fast and eating really fast and then said his youngest son was calling him, Ms. Laura said. She claimed Mr. Gonzalez ordered 2 glasses of wine within 15 minutes of each other. After getting up, she alleges he never returned. What kind of monster does this? She said. I was so embarrassed, she said. I'm not an insecure woman, but it made me feel very insecure, she said. I'm just glad he got caught. I don't want any other women to have to go through that, she said. According to police, Mr. Gonzalez ordered expensive wines, steaks, lobster, and desserts during more than a dozen dates in which he ran away without paying. He apparently did little to cover his tracks. While his dates were generally forced to pick up the bill, 2 restaurants took pity on the women, and did not charge them, prosecutors said. A criminal complaint reads, and I quote, in short, the defendant's wrongful conduct induced innocent third parties to pay for his meal using the implied threat of public humiliation or being viewed as an accomplice. There was no implied threat. There was no threat. There was no force. You're just making up bullshit to get these women out of trouble, right? To make them out to be the poor victims, right? Well, yeah, they're victims of thinking they were going to get a free meal and then not getting a free meal. Mr. Gonzalez has pleaded not guilty, as he should, but if convicted could face up to 16 years in jail. 16 years in jail over 10 free meals for women that he didn't pay for. Justified, prosecutors say, because, and I quote, he set up a third party to take the fall. What fall? It's dinner. One person pays or the other person pays. They hadn't reached an agreement about who would pay for dinner. There was no legally binding requirement for diners to be bound by a certain specific set of social rules or nominate who's going to pay the bill first. right? The person who pays the bill is the person who pays the bill, regardless of whether they think they have to or not, right? If it's a woman, she doesn't want to pay the bill, she can walk out, right? Then the police can speak to both him and her, both of who walked out, probably make them pay half each. Oh, but because the poor women's had to pay for once, now they're the bad one. Unbelievable. After the hearing, a judge is set to rule on whether the case should be taken to trial. So guys, I don't know if you remember those women on Tinder who were being praised as geniuses by other women, right? Geniuses for putting on their send me $5 and see what happens, right? And then of course, guys were sending them $5 and they would block the guy after they got $5. Right? And these girls are making hundreds of dollars because these simps are thinking that they're going to get titty pictures. They're thinking they're going to get pussy pics. They're thinking they're going to get on a date. They think the woman's going to do something nice for them. No, they're just scamming the fuck out of you, man. All right, so these women can go on Tinder and say, give me $5 and see what happens. The man gives $5, nothing happens. He gets nothing in return, right? And that's not fraud, extortion, or petty theft, right? These women can divorce rape someone, take 40 years worth of assets. That's not petty theft, extortion, or what was the other thing? No, what were the three things? Petty theft, extortion, and fraud. So that's not fraud, right? Pretending to be a good, faithful wife for 40 years and then taking everything. That's not fraud, right? Guys go out and have consensual sex with a woman, then she regrets it the next day because she doesn't want her boyfriend to find out that she fucked someone else, right? And then she'll go to the police and Me Too him and say that he raped her. That's not fraud. That's not extortion, right? But suddenly a woman has to pay for dinner and that's fraud, extortion, and petty theft. Get the fuck out of here, right? And this is the kind of bullshit that us men have to deal with. If there's any women watching this right now, listen and learn. This is what us guys have dealt with since the dawn of time, since we were born, having to deal with the double standard. We're not taking it anymore. We are going our own way. We are making the executive choice to say no. We are making the executive choice to save our money, to not get married, to save our assets, to save our ass, to save our reputation, right? To keep our criminal history clean with no charges from entitled bitches like these ones, or the ones that go on Tinder and ask for money, or the women who pledge to be loyal husbands until death do us part. So who pretty much acting like husbands, who pledge to be loyal wives until death do us part, quote unquote, right? And then a guy does something like this, and he's staring down the it boggles my mind that he's like literally staring at 16 years in jail for this. This is just incredible, guys. Look, I think this article speaks for itself. The link is in the description below. Hit the subscribe button below and the bell next to it if you haven't already subscribed. Guys, if you do want to donate, head on over to PayPal, description below. Check me out on my other platforms, description below. Please share this video far and wide. Share it with all the young simps you know that are paying for women's dinners, left, right, and center. Share it with all the guys you know that think they are smart by pulling pranks like this on a woman. Right? It's not going to work out well for you. I'm telling you that right now. Appreciate that $5 donation, men matter. Big love to you, brother. Please share this video, guys. Get the word out there about what's going on, about the double standard, about what women can get away with while men can't, and the kind of charges you're up for if you think that you're going to game the system by trying to get the upper hand by being a smartass. That's all I got to say for now, guys. But I just got asked a question. Are you going to do call-ins? I am going to start doing that very shortly. I'm going to do maybe a call-in Friday or a call-in Sunday or something like that. I'll work that out at a later date. But I've got this phone ready to take incoming calls when I decide to do that. Anyway, man, I'm out of here for now. I appreciate you all. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for smashing that thumbs up in advance. I can see there's 136 of you watching right now. Only 42 thumbs up. Smash the thumbs up, guys. Share the video. Subscribe, like, comment. Let's get some engagement on this video so that more men can learn what is really going on in the world and how gynocentric our society is and how they got to look out for themselves. All right, peeps, I'm out of here for now. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.